Good evening and welcome back to the Rory Talks Football channel, your daily Arsenal news, updates, debates, and my opinions. If you are new to the channel, please do subscribe. We're on the way to 12,200 subscribers. And of course, if you could like the stream for the Mikel Merino, here we go, that would be absolutely fantastic. It's been a full week. It's been a full week since we went live on here. For that, I can only apologize. You don't care, but I've had a cough. And it sounds pathetic. It sounds absolutely pathetic. But I've not even been ill. Like, I've really not been that ill. But this cough, I think those of you that maybe watched the final stream, I think it was the preview. It was the preview for the Wolves game. I was coughing quite a lot in that. And it's so annoying. It's annoying for me, but it's annoying to listen to as well. And it's got worse, if anything. So I've been trying to, apparently it can last for 3 weeks though. And I'm like, I can't not go live for 3 weeks. So if I'm coughing a lot, I apologize. If you don't want to listen through it, absolutely don't blame you. But we had to go live today because Mikel Merino is about to become an Arsenal player. So we'll get into it. But there's loads of you here, which I am very grateful for that you've come back. Vivi Vlad, Woodsy, Pelzer, Anu Brata, Hyper Protagonist, Ethan Udall, Junior Films, Lord Ferguson of Aberdeen, Pekka, Wills God, Layla, Joachim, Adu, Jakob, Saka the Goat, Francisco Oliveira, Umer, Leeds Gunner, Emilio Yoyoyoy, Oslo Guna, Matthew, and many, many more. It is good to see you. Thanks for saving me from watching Football Terrace with Ches. You're welcome. You're welcome. We asked if you were okay hearing that cough. I'm going to get there. I'm going to get there. It's so annoying. It is honestly so annoying. I don't know how to explain it. But it's literally, it's like someone's just got a feather in the back of my throat. Fucking 24/7. It's insane. Absolutely insane. Anyway, stop whinging, stop whining, and get on with the show. So we had it today. We had been building up for a long, long time for the Merino. Here we go. We'd had so many updates about it being closer, and Edu was going to Spain, and then the Sociedad chairman was coming to England, and all this was going on. And then today, some of the smaller Spanish outlets that we've been listening to started reporting it at first. And then the big boys came through. Ornstein, Arsenal strike agreement in principle with Real Sociedad to sign Mikel Merino. So he says 33.5 million euros plus 5 million euros in add-ons. Personal terms done for the 28-year-old to join on a 4-year contract plus the option for a 5th. So he's saying it's a 38.5 million package in total with 33.5 million up front. What did Edu actually go to Spain for? Well, that's a good question. Did Edu actually go to Spain for Mikel Merino or not? Fabrizio then reporting 32 million plus 5 million in add-ons with favourable payment terms. So it sounds like we might have paid a little bit more, but in order to have favourable payment terms, which obviously helps us with PSR and stuff like that. Interestingly, and that is a good question, Pekka, what wages is he on? We don't know. No one has reported what wages he'll be on, so we'll wait and find out with that. But it's sounding like between Fabrizio and Ornstein, basically it's around 32 to 33 million euros up front. Not up front, but guaranteed. And then 5 million euros in potential add-ons, with that contract being until 2028, with the option for an additional year. Why not pay that 6 weeks ago? Who knows? Who knows? Is Eddie Defo going then? Yeah, so actually, Sam Dean said the acceleration of Arsenal's interest in Merino comes as Eddie Nketiah moves closer to joining Nottingham Forest in a deal worth around 30 million. And I think someone else said that Arsenal and Forest are like on the verge of agreeing that. So we might get that tomorrow, to be honest. We might get the Nketiah to Forest. Here we go tomorrow, which is decent. If we end up getting we'll talk about that in a bit, but I quite like the Eddie Nketiah deal. And I was wrong on it when we rejected the Marseille offer. So that is very, very good. Sounds like 100 to 120k a week. That'd be all right. In fact, that would be very good. 100 to 120k a week. I mean, you know, that's what like Nketiah and Reece Nelson and Kieran Tierney are on. So that wouldn't be too bad. What are the add-ons? Is it personal basis like appearances, goals, etc., or is it if Arsenal win the league? Usually, it's a combination of the two. Usually, it is a combination of the two. So who knows? That no one has said what the exact add-ons are for. But look, overall, Fabrizio actually went on to say, he said, similar to the Ricardo Calafiori story, Mikel Arteta has been crucial for Merino's move to Arsenal. Positive talks with the player. Merino had at least 2 other proposals, but he has been clear throughout. Only Arsenal. He's set to travel for the medical, signing until 2028, plus the option for an extra year. Did you see that Watts corrected Hayne? Yeah, I did see that. Annoyingly, I'd actually already made the thumbnail kind of off what Watts had supposedly said before he corrected old Eddie Hayne. But yeah, we'll speak about that. We will speak about that in a bit. Everyone was mad when Arsenal offered Nketiah a new deal. Now we're getting 30 million pure profit. True. Yeah. No, I think it's good to hold your hands up when you were wrong. And I was definitely wrong when I said we should have accepted Marseille's offer. When is the medical? Well, so this is the interesting thing, right? Now, I don't think he'll play against Aston Villa either way. If you look at what Arteta does, unless we are desperate for a player, right? If you look at what Arteta does when we sign a new player, he beds them in for quite a while. We're not going to see... Excuse me. We're not going to see Merino playing on Saturday, right? It's not going to happen. For him to actually even be available to play on Saturday, he would have to have completed his medical and all of the documents be signed and given to the Premier League by midday tomorrow. So on the assumption that that's not all going to happen by midday tomorrow, we won't see him on Saturday. But I don't think we would anyway. Look, we've not seen Calafiori yet we didn't see him against Wolves. So I think it'll take a bit of time. And there's no need, right? We've got Partey, we've got Jorginho, we've got Rice. So yeah, look, I don't think we'll see him. But it does give us then the entire week potentially for the Brighton game. And presumably we'll see him at the Emirates the following weekend. Not this weekend, but the weekend after. So did you see the There We Land came before the Here We Go? I did, yeah. I did. Classic. In fairness, my video basically saying There We Land to Mikel Merino came out 8 minutes before the There We Land. So if you really want the cutting edge news, you've always got to follow Rory Talks Football, or Rory Talks Arsenal in this case, on TikTok. Where is everyone seeing the Ramsdale news? The Ramsdale news it came from Sky. The Ramsdale news came from Sky Sports. Sky Sports are saying that Southampton are preparing to make a loan bid for Aaron Ramsdale. Arsenal's preference is to do a permanent deal or at least a loan with an obligation to buy. Wolves have also held talks and are exploring a loan with option to buy. So that is where, that is where the Ramsdale news is coming from. I think he's going to end up going on loan. Do you know what I think will happen? I think Ramsdale will go on loan, and it'll be quite a heavy loan fee, and there will be either an option or an obligation to buy him. If it's Southampton, it wouldn't surprise me if it ended up being an obligation to buy him if they survive. It wouldn't surprise me at all if that ended up being... The issue with that being, I don't think Southampton are going to survive. But for a Southampton, obviously their keeper made that big mistake at the weekend in the Newcastle game, which helps the cause. Aaron Ramsdale would be a huge upgrade for them, and he is the sort of keeper that could make, a big difference in a season. I'm just still not sure that even Ramsdale would be enough to keep Southampton up. So it would be quite an annoying thing. Nate, thank you very, very much for the $10 super chat. My guy, my gut says Kai will benefit even more from having Mikel Merino in the squad. Everyone talking about Martinelli benefiting, but he won't be the only one. I'm a long-time subscriber, first time on the live stream. Nate, I massively appreciate it. Massively appreciate the support for the channel as well. And I agree with you. I absolutely agree with you. I think Merino, Havertz, that technicality. I think everyone. I think Rice will massively benefit from it as well in terms of having a dual winner alongside him in Merino. I think that will help Declan Rice to thrive as well. The noise. What's the noise? Is there a noise? I apologize. Honestly, that 15 goals conceded record is at risk now. We won't concede at all. We will be so strong to break down, and we will be scary in set pieces. Maybe. I mean, look, we're still vulnerable at times. We'll always, the style that we play, because we do play such a high line, and we do play quite risky football in terms of the way that we play out from the back. We're always against Wolves. If it wasn't for a sensational save from Raya, we would have conceded. So that 15 goals conceded, I just think, is a monumental thing to achieve, and will be quite difficult for us. But hey, you never know. But yeah, look, on Merino, I think the deal, we got there in the end. It was a bloody struggle. I think a lot of it sounds like a lot of it was actually that Sociedad were trying to move the goalposts. So once again, this is a deal that it's been confirmed now. The first time we made contact with Sociedad over Merino was actually at the end of 2023. We actually first made contact with them before the last season's January window. It then went on. We were interested again this summer. Once again, seemingly as everyone does, they then wanted to up the price tag of him after the Euros. They wanted 40 million euros. Obviously, it's ended up being 32, 33 million euros plus 5 in add-ons. So that, I think, is why it took a little while. But the job's done. And, I mean, look, what Arteta is building in terms of the physicality of this squad, you've now got, in terms of outfield players alone, you've got Kai Havertz, 6'4", William Saliba, 6'4", Gabriel, 6'3", Mikel Merino, 6'2", Declan Rice, 6'2", Kivior, 6'2", Tomiyasu, 6'2", Calafiori, 6'2", Ben White, 6'1", Thomas Partey, 6'1". You've got 10 outfield players that are 6'1" or higher or taller. He is building a monster squad. He really is. You could literally, there could be times in the season, we're 1-0 up away at the Etihad, just put all 10 of them on. Literally just put all 10 of them on. Absolutely insane. Hi is a tier 1 source now. Well, his friend at the airport was a tier 1 source, yeah. If his friend goes back to the airport at any point, then let us know. Might finally allow Rice to get a rest occasionally, knowing there's another dual monster to cover. Yeah, exactly. It puts us in a point where you could play Partey, Merino, Ødegaard. I think you need it. That needs to take a little bit of time before you take that risk. But against lesser opposition, I think you could play Partey, Merino. I mean, you could play Jorginho, Merino, Ødegaard as well. So Declan Rice should get break. And look, you saw the cramp that Rice went down with in the opening game. That needs to be managed. Luckily we're only playing once a week, but until the international break. But he's going to go on the international break and play the full 90s. So, yeah, we do have to watch out for him and manage his minutes, just like we do with Bukayo Saka. Thoughts on selling Patino for 1 million? Seems very low considering how highly he was rated 12 months ago. Yeah, we'll get into this, actually. If you didn't already know, yesterday Arsenal agreed to sell Charlie Patino to Deportivo La Coruña for £1 million. And that seems like and sounds like a very, very low figure for him, right? The reality is, I don't think he's worth a huge... Emil, I did see that What's Corrected Hayne. I did speak about it. I'm not hallucinating. I swear to God, I literally spoke about that. But you've put it in a few times afterwards. But I did see it. Yeah, on Patino, look. He went on loan at Blackpool. He did all right. They got relegated. He went on loan at Swansea. He started all right. He got a red card. He then had a few substitute appearances and then basically became a bench player that was getting like a minute or two here or there. And no one was really in for him. And you can tell that no one was in for him based on where he's ended up. Nate, thank you for the $2 super chat as well. I really do appreciate that. Biggest hole in the squad for me is backup for Ødegaard. Backup for Saka, I think, is still a bigger problem for me. I think Nwaneri, look, Fabio Vieira kind of can do it. We've seen him do it in games previously, even a couple of seasons ago when he made his full debut against Brentford. I think Fabio Vieira can kind of do it, and Ethan Nwaneri can do it. I think Bukayo Saka, the biggest drop-off for me is from Bukayo Saka to anyone else, even if it is Gabriel Jesus, in terms of the profile of Saka. I think that's the biggest drop-off. But look, we're going to talk about this in a minute, actually, but it's just very hard to deal with that. But again, Nate, thank you very, very much for the $2 super chat. Apparently, we need 25 more likes for 100 likes. So if you could click the like button, mainly for the fact that I might die on stream. So, that would be great. But no, Patino, look, he's gone to Deportivo La Coruña. They were in the third tier of Spanish football for the last 4 years. They got promoted last season. They're back in the second division of Spanish football. It's the most expensive signing they've made in about 5 years. The other thing is, and Fabrizio Romano has confirmed this, Arsenal have a 50% sell-on clause in the Charlie Patino deal and will also own his matching rights in the future. So we have a 50% sell-on clause, and if a club comes in to buy Charlie Patino, Deportivo have to offer him to us for the same price. And because we have a 50% sell-on clause, that effectively means we get 50% off, right? So, let's say Patino proves everyone wrong, and he has an unbelievable couple of years, right? Let's say he has an unbelievable couple of years, and he's worth 20 million. And, I don't know, Villa make a £20 million bid for him. We then have matching rights at 20 million. And if we trigger that 20 million, well, 10 million is in our 50% sell-on clause. So it only costs us 10 million. So it's actually not a bad deal because there's very little downside, right? In terms of if he does go on to be much better than we think he is. Obviously, it's frustrating that we've only got £1 million for him because of how highly he was rated. Obviously, when he came on as a sub against Sunderland and scored that goal on his debut, people spoke so highly of him within the club. You thought, he'd go on to do a lot better. But the reality is he had 2 loan spells that just didn't go that well. So it's not the end of the world. Moving on to the kind of Nico Williams winger situation where I do think, we've got 8 days. We've got 8 days. The transfer deadline day is a week tomorrow. We've got 8 days. And I do still think we need to bolster the attack. And I do think it needs to be a winger. Obviously, I'd love it to be Gyökeres, as you know, but I do think it needs to be a winger. Anyway, David Ornstein today says Arsenal are in this quite strange position with their wide players in that they're looking for a backup who will be happy being a backup, but still contribute to the effect that it would help them win trophies and compete for major honours. And this is what we've said, right? It's very, very, very difficult to find someone that is both capable of being a backup to Saka, as in they are so good that they can be a backup to Saka and we could still compete for the Premier League even if they were playing instead of Saka, but that also they're happy to be a bench player because they're going to be a bench player behind Saka. It's incredibly difficult to do that, even more so because of Saka's age. Because if Saka was 26, 27 years old, you could probably go out and find a 21, 22-year-old and say to them, well, look, Saka's probably got 2 or 3 years left at the very top. As you're coming into your prime, you can overtake him. But because Saka is still so young, if you go and get a 21, 22-year-old, they're only a year, 2 years behind Saka anyway. And so it's very, very difficult to solve this problem. And I think we're realizing that. Screams Bakayoko. Possibly Bakayoko. Possibly. But I do worry about who's out there. Anyway, Ornstein went on to say it's possible that Arsenal bring in somebody for that position before the window shuts if they can find the right deal. It's an area that we'll have to keep an eye on. There are no guarantees. He said in the past, there was Pedro Neto, who Arsenal decision makers were big fans of. The one that Mikel Arteta and those involved at Arsenal really like is Nico Williams, but he's the apple of everybody's eye. The problem is that he's already on a really high wage, which would only increase if he comes to the league, if he comes to the Premier League, and the release clause in his contract would need to be paid in full. It would appear he's going to be staying. So Ornstein believes Nico Williams is going to be staying at Bilbao, which I think makes sense. I just don't think that we can go out there, trigger the release clause in full up front, which is what you have to do. Like, I still don't think people know how it works in Spain, but effectively, we have to give the entire release clause to Nico Williams, and then he takes that money himself and goes and pays his own release clause. That's how it works in Spain. It's what we did with Thomas Partey. But based on, like, for example, based on how long we fought with Sociedad over the payment terms for Mikel Merino, I just don't think it's possible. Excuse me. But look, maybe there is someone that we go for. And clearly the club are aware that we do need a backup for Saka. As it stands, that backup is Gabriel Jesus and or Reece Nelson. But yeah. And if a deal is going to get done, by the way, 100%, selling Eddie Nketiah is not going to be enough. Like, selling Nketiah is basically the way that we bring Merino in. If you then want another attacker, Reece Nelson has to go. And still, there's just no links. There's maybe Leicester are still floating around, but it's difficult. Stephen, thank you very, very much for the £5 super chat. I think we're potentially a Gabriel Jesus injury away from being short on the right hand and at striker. The drop-off is really noticeable after that. Well, this is it. That's actually the nail on the head. Eddie Nketiah is leaving. Reece Nelson may or may not leave either way, whatever. But Gabriel Jesus gets injured, and let's be real, since joining Arsenal, he has pretty much consistently had injury problems. Gabriel Jesus gets injured. Suddenly, your number one backup for Havertz is unavailable. Your number one backup for Saka is unavailable. You're in a sticky situation. And that's why I'd be surprised if we don't get someone. Because I do think that just, you're right. Like, it really does leave us weak. Simple, Trossard up front and Nelson back at winger. But that's just not good enough. Trossard up front is nowhere near as good as Trossard off the left. And Nelson off the wing, like, that puts us behind where we were last season. Vieira can play right wing. Again, I'd rather Nwaneri played right wing, to be honest. He's got the burst of pace. I'd rather see Nwaneri off the right. But either way, I just think there's no way of looking at it where we're not weaker offensively. I mean, objectively, if we lose Eddie Nketiah and we don't bring in an attacker, fine. However you rate Eddie Nketiah, we still have the exact same attacking players as last season, minus Eddie Nketiah. And Nketiah did come in for a small period and score goals. Not many, but he did. So it's tricky. It is tricky. But yeah, I genuinely, because of that, I do genuinely think we will go out and get someone. I just don't know who it's going to be. And I don't think it's going to be Nico Williams. Anyway, the reason that the Nico Williams talk actually got started today was Team News and Ticks again. Team News and Ticks said Arsenal are still trying to sign Nico Williams. As of yet, the player has not said no to Arsenal. So he said that, which kind of, I mean, to be honest, look, Team News and Ticks needs a win at some point this summer because he's been struggling. Then Charles Watt said something on a live stream with Team News and Ticks that I think, yeah, Eduardo Hayne kind of took it a bit out of context and made it sound more promising than it was. But I don't think it's going to happen. By the way, as well, remember that guy, Asprilla? We looked at him on one stream. The Watford guy. I can't even remember how you spell his name now. His name was like Yezer. Yeah, Yezer Asprilla. 20-year-old that we got linked to. Really exciting winger. He's joined Girona. Right? So he's joined Girona. The issue with that being Girona are owned by Citigroup. Would not surprise me if he ends up at Man City at some point. Really exciting attacking player. Winger. And he's gone to Girona. So, yeah, that one's a bit frustrating, but it is what it is. Yeah, Yeser Asprilla, I think. Don't mind the cough. No, it's just annoying. The cough's just annoying. You know, it's like when you're the worst actually is if I'm like on the tube or whatever and I'm just coughing and people just think you've got COVID and you're some rancid, disgusting human being. And all it is a tickle. It's just a tickle. I don't even feel unwell. A Dingra is feasible. Brighton just signed a handful of attacking players. Possibly. We need a partner club. Maybe. Did you see Cozier and Barco in your FPL team? Did you have Cozier and Barco in your FPL team? No. Yes. No. Barco, I did. So Barco, I got rid of. I bought Lewis Hall because I had an extra 0.5 million. To be honest, my FPL went quite well. Let me bring up my team. No, I do have Cozier Dubry still in there. Yeah, so I swapped out Barco for Lewis Hall. But I do still have Cozier Dubry in there. But it is what it is. Maybe you have monkeypox? No. Have you seen monkeypox? That's crazy. Monkeypox is crazy. I don't have that. Just got a tickly throat. Lookman news. All right, so the Ademola Lookman news. So it came out last night, and immediately, right, it came out from what was his name? Not Alberto. I can't remember his name. Basically, some fella in Italy. And at that point, you go, if it's coming out of Italy and it's not Fabrizio Romano, Padula, that's the one. Yeah, if it comes out of Italy and it's not Fabrizio, get 2 fistfuls of salt and hold on to them. Anyway, he said that Arsenal had supposedly presented a 50 million plus add-ons plus potentially Jakub Kiwior offer to Atalanta for Ademola Lookman. He also said that Liverpool were potentially interested. Fabrizio Romano came out this morning and said Liverpool and Arsenal are not in talks with Atalanta for Ademola Lookman. So it was bullshit. But, you win some, you lose some. And to be fair, like 50 million plus add-ons plus Kiwior, that's like, depending on how much you value Kiwior at, I'd say you value Kiwior at least 25 million. It's like well over 70 million for Lookman. Now, don't get me wrong. Lookman was impressive in the Europa League final. He's been relatively impressive for Atalanta over the last couple of seasons in Serie A. But we've seen him in the Premier League. We've seen him with Fulham, Leicester, Everton. To go out and pay over 70 million. Because at that point, you're not far away from like Leao type money. You're not far away from Nico Williams type money. So yeah, it never really made a lot of sense. But I just don't know who this wing is going to be. I don't know who this. I've got. There is a part of me that is slightly concerned about Chelsea because they've just got too many wingers. And there is part of me that is concerned that we end up taking fucking Sterling or Mudryk. Now, Madueke, I wouldn't be too mad about. Madueke is the one that I would find acceptable because he's on relatively low wages and it would be a relatively low fee. Sterling, the issue for me with Sterling is that he's on over 300 grand a week. Even if he takes a big pay cut, you're bringing Sterling in on probably more or equal wages than Saka. But you're bringing him in to be a backup. The wages with Sterling would be a massive, massive issue because he's just paid too much. Especially, even if you talk about people thought that Havertz is maybe paid too much, at least Kai Havertz is basically at this point a guaranteed starting player and the focal point of the attack. Raheem Sterling's a backup winger. The issue with Mudryk is that I just think he's a donkey. That's the issue with Mudryk. I can't even sugarcoat it. I've seen too much of him, but he's a. If I look at the things that I don't like about Martinelli or the weaknesses of Martinelli, double that and you've got Mudryk. Like the exact same weakness, but worse in Mudryk than Martinelli. So yeah, Madueke is the only one that I wouldn't mind. Hayne has to play Madrid in 3 days. Good for him. Good for him. Carl Hayne kept a debut in his La Liga. Kept a clean sheet on his La Liga debut. Madueke is only on 40. Yeah, exactly. Madueke is on not a lot of money. I still think it would be a bit of a gamble. I do still think Madueke would be a bit of a gamble. I think he's a bit of a one-trick pony. He can definitely take it past players. He can't take it down on his right. He's decent-ish at cutting in onto his left. If he could master the art of what Saka is doing in terms of cutting onto his left and then crossing it, I think that could work very well. By the way, you know what we saw with the opening goal against Wolves? Excuse me. Reese, thank you very, very much for the 199 super chat. I do really appreciate that. By the way, there's over 400 of you in here. If you could subscribe if you're not already subscribed, and of course, click the like button, I would be very, very grateful. Look, if Madueke, the opening goal, right? The run, it was planned because we did it 3 or 4 times in the same game where Saka cuts in, Havertz runs. In that opening goal, I believe it was Partey was running in there as well, and you'll probably see Declan Rice. Now imagine you've got the exact same scenario. You've got Havertz making the front post run, and you've got 6'3" Merino making the back post run. That we are going to score so many goals like that. It is going to be unbelievable. So if you can bring in Madueke and teach him to do the same thing, I don't mind it too much. But yeah, I do have a feeling if you just look around, if you look around the international market for wingers, right? It's not a great market anyway, which is what we've struggled with. And there's one team that's desperate to get players off their books, has a surplus of wingers. I have a feeling. But look, we'll wait and see. We'll wait and see. We got 8 days. 8 days left. So someone said it before, I didn't respond to it. There will be, hopefully. Is the coughing too much, or is it all right? Because I will, if it's like this tomorrow, I'll stream again tomorrow. It's the Aston Villa preview tomorrow. Let me know. Arteta has a Chelsea fetish. Yeah, it's got to go wrong at some point. You can't save everyone. If we get a backup winger, who do you think it will be? Or who do you want it to be if you had to pick someone realistic? Johan Bakayoko, I think, is the most realistic one that I would be happy with. Because I just don't think Nico Williams is realistic. You're twitching. Way too much coffee. I'm not twitching. I don't drink coffee. I'm not twitching either. I'm trying not to cough. If I look like I'm twitching, I'm just trying not to cough. What happened with the mystery German? Again, Reese, thank you for the 199 super chat. The mystery German was the friends we made along the way. The mystery German was an entertaining piece of content during the Euros. That was it. Okay, people are saying it's fine. Joe, we'll just stream. And if you don't like it, fair enough. Just don't watch, isn't it? Twitch, no, there probably won't be Twitch. I'm trying to recover, so unfortunately there won't be Twitch. The Cleaner, good to see you. Hayne has Barca after Madrid. Time to make a name for himself. Yeah, I mean, that would be pretty impressive. 3 clean sheets. Could see it being Rafinha. It could only be Rafinha, realistically, if Barca sign a winger. And I don't think they can sign a winger. Well, they're going for Chiesa. So this is the other set of dominoes that could fall. Kind of center around Chiesa. Now, I've seen some people that think Arsenal should get Chiesa. I don't think he's good enough. Potentially, as it stands, by the way, even getting rid of İlkay Gundogan, Barcelona still cannot register Dani Olmo. Dani Olmo is still not registered as a Barcelona player. They are so broke, it's unbelievable, right? So, they maybe, to get Rafinha off the books, bring in Chiesa, and Rafinha goes somewhere. And maybe that could be Arsenal. There are a few options. I genuinely do have Vitor Roque. I don't think so. For what Arsenal need from it right now, I don't think so. It sounds like he's just gone on a straight up loan to Betis. Anyway, I think. Yeah, there's no Twitch stream later, unfortunately. The Twitch streams will return, but only once I have fully stopped coughing. Because I think I need to try and recover my voice, but that's a difficult thing to do when you make content all day. Barca still needs to sell players to register Olmo. Yeah, exactly. Sancho, no, thank you. They still need to pay us for Torres a couple of years ago. Yeah, I mean they're crazy. They still owe. Who did they owe? Wasn't there a club that they still owed? Like the club got relegated. It might have even been liquidated. Who was was it Bordeaux? I think Bordeaux. Yeah, that was it. Bordeaux, right? Went into administration. It basically doesn't exist anymore, I don't think. And during that, Barcelona still owe them a shitload of money for Malcolm. How insane is that? It's insane. And it shouldn't be allowed to happen, to be quite honest with you. It shouldn't be allowed to happen. But were the Koeman links fake? I don't think they were fake. I think it was just speculation. I think Koeman was being shopped around a little bit by his agents. But yeah, I don't think there was any more in it than that, to be honest. News about Madrid not being happy with Rodrigo. He was apparently unhappy that Vinny and Mbappe are getting all of the love right now. You can Google it. Yeah, I mean, Rodrigo would be nice, but very difficult deal to do, I think. Very difficult deal to do. It would be nice, though. But it would be lovely, in fact. Would you take Gnabry? Probably not. I'd much rather Sane than Gnabry, to be honest. The annoying thing about the Bayern, at Bayern, you've got Koeman, you've got Gnabry, you've got Sane. They've all got slightly less than ideal injury histories. But if I was going to go for one of them, I think it would be Sane over Gnabry. Mainly just to have I just think Sane's closer to what we need. And obviously that raw pace is just ideal. Why'd you stop appearing on the terrace? Mainly because my shows are at the same. My shows are at 6:30, and the terrace is obviously goes through that time. And it was if I asked myself really, why was I on the terrace? It was. I just didn't massively enjoy it. I don't think. I sat there for a couple of hours twice a week, and I just don't think I particularly enjoyed it. Which is not a slight on the terrace. I think I just prefer this, basically. I just prefer doing this. Did you see they changed the Champions League anthem? Disgrace. Bloody disgrace. It's a disgrace that they've changed the Champions League anthem. They've barely even changed it. Right? But the Champions League anthem, the music for the Champions League anthem is based on Zadok the Priest, right? Zadok the Priest was composed in 1727, nearly 300 years ago, for the coronation of King George II, right? That's how old that piece of music is. Now, in 1992, a guy called what was his name? Something Britain rearranged it for the Champions League in 1992, and it has been that music ever since then. Since the Champions League, 1992, it was rearranged, and it's been that piece of music ever since. Is it over or nearly? 1992. Over 30 years. 32 years of that music. Have you ever heard someone say they need to tweak the Champions League music? No, because it was fine. It was perfect. And they've changed it. They've barely even changed it. They've barely changed it whatsoever. They've just made it a little bit more shit. They've just made it a little bit shitter. For no reason. For literally no reason. Honestly, utter woke nonsense is what that is. I'm taking a break from the football terrace. Unbelievably toxic. Well, it's weird. I just think Tony Britain. That's the one. Yeah, no, look, the football terrace is a great. I'll tell you what, I love Terry. Terry was always absolutely fantastic. But yeah, I just think for me, the only like group show that I do is we do the Rational League on Judge Mo's channel. And I love it because everyone's just calm and relaxed. And like sometimes the Football Terrace feels like football Twitter in human form. And I'm just not a huge fan of it. 200 likes. If we could hit 200 likes with 400 of you, that would be absolutely fantastic. No drama. Would it be possible to do a show with James from AFTV? I'd love to do it. I'll tell you what, James at AFTV, I massively rate. I'd happily do a show with him. Yeah, absolutely. Can we expect guests? Yes. I want to have guests this year. I do want to have guests on the show this year. This season, rather. But I need to sort it out. And obviously the last week's been really annoying. Thoughts on the overall performance against Wolves? It was good. Yeah, I do like going on Latte Firm as well. I've been on Latte Firm a few times. Big fan of going on that. Do a show with James and Alex from the Different Knock. I mean, that would be golden. That would be a golden show. But no, thoughts on the Wolves game overall. I just thought, look, opening game of the season, right? In a way, it could only go wrong. That the only way that Wolves game could go unpredictably would have been if it went wrong. And I just thought, overall, it was a solid performance. We weren't spectacular, but we kind of picked up where we left off. And when I say where we left off, I mean like the Everton game at the end of the season, where it was just about getting the result. And that was all we needed to do. We kept the clean sheet. You could tell that a few players were a bit rusty. You could tell, I think in the case of a couple of them, Declan Rice still a bit tired, to be honest, and not ready to do a full 90. But overall, I just thought it was a solid performance. And people that reacted badly to it, what more do you want? Like no team across all 20 Premier League teams that played last weekend, not a single one was like absolute lightning, were they? So yeah, I think it's happy. I think it's good. Did you see the MLS clip? Hope you get some. What in the academy game? Yeah, there was a clip of Miles Lewis-Skelly in the academy game. Takes it past like 3 or 4 players into the midfield, like drives through the midfield, takes it past 3 or 4 players, and then plays like the most perfectly weighted ball through, and we score from it. And I do just think, yeah, that is. I hope he does. I hope he does. What did you have for dinner? I've actually not had it yet. I'm about to have it. I can smell it cooking, and it's chicken gyros. Chicken gyros, sensational. Absolutely looking forward to it. Anyway, it is time for Guess the Gooner. I'm going to give you 5 clues about an ex or current Arsenal player, and you have to guess who that player is in the chat. First person to get it right wins the immense pride and respect of the Rory Talks Football community. So get your fingers on your keyboards, because we are starting, if I can type it, now. Clue number 1. This player has scored 0 goals in 4 appearances for Arsenal. Clue number 1, this player scored 0 goals in 4 appearances for Arsenal. Clue number 2, this player is 23 years old. Clue number 2, this player is 23 years old. Clue number 3, this player has made 15 senior international appearances. Clue number 3, this player has made 15 senior international appearances. Clue number 4, this player joined Arsenal in 2023. Clue number 4, this player joined Arsenal in 2023. And clue number 5, they played 121 times for Ajax. Clue number 5, they played 121 times for Ajax. It's a pretty easy one. There weren't many clues I could give, to be quite honest with you. But there we go. And the winner, and I'm not getting VAR checked, the winner is John P. John P. Jurriën Timber. It's Jurriën Timber. It is Jurriën Timber. There is a new video on the Arsenal channel where the players go through the pronunciations of their names. It's Jurriën Timber. And it's also Ethan Nwaneri, not Nwaneri. You do not pronounce any part of the N in Nwaneri. So there you go. Lee was second. Oslo Gunnar was third. Jackson was fourth. And Devin was fifth. So there you go. Congratulations. Congratulations to John P. Very, very good. Wait, people want VAR? Oh, people are saying VAR. Fuck's sake. Okay, what's the VAR check here then? So I've gone for John. What's the VAR check? What's the VAR check? No, I'm right. I'm right. I've literally just gone through every single message above it. But there's no VAR check there for me. No, not for me. On my screen, listen. Right. We'll take a picture. I'll put it in the Discord. I'll take a picture and I'll put it in the Discord. I'll take a picture. I'll take a picture of it. Look. Where is it? Here we go. I'm taking a picture. There we go. Look at that. That's going in the Discord. That is going in the Discord. That is going in the TikTok. Not TikTok. That is going in VAR reviews. Here we go. I'm putting it in there right now. Look. There you go. There you go. John won. John won. Rory's paid off. It's there in black and white. You've got the VAR, you've got the ref's body cam. You've got the ref's body cam on the Discord. It's there. VAR, goal given, John P. I'm standing by it. John won. It's on my screen. It's on my screen. The game's the game. The game is the game. I've put it on Discord. Argue amongst yourselves. Well, it's black and it's whatever it is. Whatever color this is. You've seen it. You've seen it. You've seen it. Anyway, it's time for Guess the Non-Gooner. I'm going to give you the entire career path of a player who does not and has not played for Arsenal. And you have to guess who that player is in the chat. First person to get it right wins the immense pride and respect of the Rory Talks Football community, but not as much respect as John P. currently has. This player started their career at Nottingham Forest. This player started their career at Nottingham Forest. They went to Newcastle United. They went to Tottenham Hotspur. They went on loan to Aston Villa. They went on loan to Nottingham Forest. And they went to QPR. Forest, Newcastle United, Spurs, Villa on loan, Forest on loan, QPR permanently. Hint. He lost his job today. Who's the winner? Who is the winner? It's Leo Nesbitt. It's Leo Nesbitt. It was Jermaine Genius. If you've not seen the news, Jermaine Genius today has been sacked by the BBC, meaning he will not be on any BBC football coverage in future. He's been sacked from Match of the Day, sacked from the One Show for inappropriate behaviour. That inappropriate behaviour being molesting my ears. So Jermaine Genius is gone. Oslo Gunnar was second. Joseph McCann was third. Wilmot was fourth. And Ethan Udall was fifth. So there you go. Congratulations. Congratulations. Oh, they're VARing me again. They're VARing me again. No way. No way. No. Oh, wait. Oh, no. Yeah, you are right. There were two people. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. There were two people above. I hold my hands up. I hold my hands up. This VAR is a big one. James Salder is the actual winner. James Salder is the actual winner. Sam Shapiro came second. I don't know how I missed both of them. That is VAR. Shocker. Absolute shocker. Goal given to James Salder. And I do apologise. Blame it on the coughing. Blame it on the coughing. Shocking from me. Shocking from me. I'm not... I am quite literally not fit to referee. I'm not fit to referee. I'm not fit to referee. I apologise. James, congratulations on winning for the first time. Congratulations. PGMOL apology tomorrow? Maybe. I'll offer it tonight. I'll hold my hands up. Anyway, look, that is going to be the end of the stream. I appreciate those of you that have bared with me. Hopefully I will be back tomorrow evening for the Aston Villa preview. If you've not already subscribed, please subscribe. Click the like button on your way out. I would be incredibly grateful. But other than that, I hope you all have a fantastic evening. And hopefully I'll catch you all tomorrow. Goodbye.